Hello and welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. Well, sorry, a little dark there. Yeah, I think with this window behind me. Wait, let me try this. That'll do something. Okay. So back again. Yeah, still working at home for another week, so that's been slow and strange. I don't even know what day it is. And yeah, I just realized, hey K5, I just noticed with your message, yeah, it's 420. So a totally weedless 420 in Japan. But I saw people, yeah, posting things this morning, and yeah, totally out of touch. Yeah, I was surprised it was Tuesday already. Actually, it came pretty fast. So, but we're back again for another week. Yeah, it's just getting kind of weird, the whole wait and see thing. Is that? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so nobody has any ideas about when things will start changing, and so we're just stuck for another week. Oh man. That's torture. What should be a very very mellow live stream then, if everyone is still on 420 holiday. Hey Snooker Ghost. Oh, that's great, thinking about the channel. Yes, and think about it and then it appears. But yeah, so I think I've got things worked out a little bit better with Photoshop this week. I hopefully can yeah, draw a little easier, and I won't have to zoom in so far. But yeah, so nothing has really changed here. Yeah, just people are encouraged to stay inside, and businesses are recommended to limit try to work at home or limit their labor forces, but that's not it's not an enforceable thing in Japan. The government can recommend whatever they want, but they can't make a law against where you can go and what you can do. So nobody has to do anything. So we'll see. And that means people feel a lot of pressure to go to work anyhow. Because yeah, it's just ridiculous here, the amount of pressure that people feel at their companies, and especially as the companies have been stagnated for so long. The economy hasn't grown here in decades, and so companies just every time someone retires or someone takes maternity leave or whatever, they don't replace people. So it just gets harder and harder to do your job, because you've got 3 people have the work of 5 people, and then 3 people have the work of 10 people, as things keep being consolidated and all that good stuff. But still, people won't leave. People won't jump companies here. I think because traditionally that was looked at like you were the problem. It was never the company, it was always you. So if you left a company for any reason and didn't work there for your entire lifetime, then something's wrong with you. So no one would ever hire you after that. It's changing a little bit though, and I think even though there's not a lot of growth, the younger, digital, more technology-based companies, I think, are more, North American style, where you can actually get a raise by being hired by the competition. But yeah, and things like headhunters and things aren't as common here, because it's just there's no market for it. So that sort of thing doesn't happen, where people are poached from their from their jobs. But the cartoon must go on, so we'll give this a shot. I think pressure thing is okay. All right, and then this. Okay. Yeah, maybe I just do have to work in a little bit. There we go. But I hope everyone is doing well. I keep hearing like podcasters or YouTubers that I listen to are getting sick, and they're not getting tested because it's difficult to get a test, or it's difficult for them to pay for it or get to the hospital or whatever. So I think the one was in England though, so that's their National Health Service's fault. I don't know what the British testing rules are like, but yeah, so it's still spreading. But yeah, right. Well, that's the thing that yeah, I'm really wondering. People have to change their lifestyle so much during this time. What's going to happen when it's over? Are people really going to say, is it worth sitting in a car an hour each way, or all of those things that make going into an office miserable? Is it going to be hard to get people back into the office afterwards? Yeah, I could do everything remotely right now. But the strange thing is the cost of living, at least my living situation in Japan would be cheaper than I could do in the US at this time. So it's probably easier to be here. And with my daughter, I wouldn't want her to have to rely only on English and completely rebuild her whole friend base and everything. I remember, I think I moved twice when I was a kid, and both times it's like being the new kid is not fun to do that many times, and especially I did it in the middle of high school, which was a huge mistake. That's never easy. So I don't know, and it's funny, I can't imagine how bored she would be, because the level of the Japanese elementary schools is so high. I mean, she's basically doing algebra already in 4th grade, and I can't imagine what that's going to be like in the US. So we'll see. But yeah, I think she's pretty comfortable here, so it would just be for me, and I already gave that up. I already figured I would just burn down my career just for, to have a more stable, comfortable situation. And this year was going to be the big year of visiting the US. I was going to visit family a lot this year, and all of that is canceled, so yeah. That was really disappointing, because it's been a little while. And nothing. Now nothing this year. But wow. Yeah, so there are going to be some weird changes. I think movie theaters, and they're talking about the comic book industry having difficulty recovering from this. So there'll be a couple of kind of big cultural changes that'll happen, and we'll be able to trace it back to this nonsense. Yeah, and the funny thing, if China plays their cards right and does the usual kind of communist thing of blaming everybody else, then they will get away with doing this to the world with no consequences. That's the most hysterical thing. Is it's never their fault. And they can get most of the world to believe them too, so that's the sad thing. Yeah, I've seen people getting around the ban of the health crisis terminology by using different different brands of Mexican beer. So somebody was doing Modelo talk and Dos Equis talk. So there's lots of brands of Mexican beer responsible for the current situation. Yeah, now there's actually if anybody isn't uploading anything to YouTube, now there's actually a box you have to check when you upload something that says you're not talking about the bad weather or any kind of current heavy situations on your streams or on your in your videos. So yeah, they made it very, very obvious what they want to do. But yeah. So that was very funny. It's right out there now in their terms of uploading. Is your content made for children, and are you discussing any world-changing events? Alright. But yeah, I hope everything is going well for everyone, or as well as they can expect in this kind of odd situation. Even slowly I'm getting a little movement. Huh. Yeah, I'm still wondering if I should go into the city by car and pick up some more equipment to make this run smoother, although it's going to make it pretty crowded in here if I get everything I need. But yeah, drawing on this is a little strange, and it might be better if it had some texture, but this is like just drawing on a piece of glass, and most of the other tablets have a textured surface, so kind of it has a little more grab. It feels a little bit more like paper, but this one is just like slippery glass. So I didn't think I would be drawing on this so much. All right. Yeah, I've been noticing so many channels are doing a lot of live streaming content. A lot of YouTube channels that don't normally, that just post videos and stuff, but now they're doing all live stream, and maybe because they're just worried about producing the regular amount of content, so live streaming is a good option. And also people whose faces you've never seen, like they actually did like face reveals in live stream. That was a little upsetting for some of those channels. Yeah. But if you're any sort of fan of Sopranos, the HBO series Sopranos, they just two of the cast members started a watch through of the entire series, and so they're doing like one episode per podcast, and just talking about their experiences and memories from the show, and then having guests on related to what season it is and what episode it is. But right now it's done well, I guess it's going to have to be done remotely forever, because one of them's in New York and one of them's in LA, or maybe not New York, I can't remember, but they're not in the same place at the same time. So it will always be a remote podcast. So I guess that's why they started it during this. But I think it's Talking Sopranos. And it's funny because there have been so many watch through podcasts. Oh yeah, free concerts too. Yeah. Oh yeah, my Surface or my hot end, and I ordered another Surface. It didn't come yet. So yeah, sorry, no 3D again. I'm becoming the non-3D stream, even though it's sitting right there. But yeah, orders I guess are really, really slow. The delivery stuff, the delivery services in Japan are just, it's turned from a couple of days into a week basically. So yeah, nothing showed up yet, and all of the online shops and Amazon and everything are saying just don't expect this, when it says it is. And anything international, like the American Amazon won't ship anything anymore, probably because of the difficulty. But that's right, free concerts. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. People are doing a lot of free entertainment. That's nice that you don't forget about them, or just a little bit of extra comfort during these times is pretty cool. But yeah, but that Sopranos podcast is pretty cool. I mean, it's perfect, and it's what should have happened before. And actually, Edie Falco, the actress that played the wife, that played Carmela Soprano, said she tried to do a watch through just in her own private life with one of the other actors from the show, and said because it was 20 years ago, it was just too depressing. Like, everybody was so much younger, and people had died in the cast. James Gandolfini, the lead role, passed away, so it's just too difficult for the actors to watch it because so much has changed and so much is over that they couldn't make it through. But it's nice. The podcast is doing a good job because they're mostly focusing on the actor that played Michael Imperioli, that played Christopher, he's talking just a lot about acting, and he did some writing for the show. I'm not sure if he directed or not, but I know he talks about doing some writing. But so he's talking more about technical aspects and kind of logistical stuff. And the actor that played Bobby Bacalari is the other host, and he doesn't show up, I think, until season 2. So right now he's just kind of relying on Christopher to tell him everything that was going on in the first season, especially with the pilot too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good things have definitely come from this, and hopefully some good changes. I mean, people will be able to live the kind of lifestyle and do the kind of things they want to do, because it'll just be shown that the way things were, isn't the only way. People have to kind of adapt. But I feel bad for bars and restaurants and places where people socialize being closed for so long, and maybe not coming back, or people, even when everything is lifted, being reluctant for that. But that that being said, that news once in China, once they were lifted travel bans and everything, people just went insane and just crowded every tourist place and everything. So yeah, they're definitely gonna be looking at another case of bad weather, another outbreak, if they are just irresponsibly cramming, because it just the population density there is unimaginable. And it's tolerable here in Japan because people are really polite and really clean and respectful. And so I can't imagine more population density, more people, everything being dirtier and people being rude. I can't even imagine how you function in that kind of situation, because it's barely barely functions here, and it's kind of everyone is on their best behavior. But yeah, there's been some good things to come of it, that's for sure. Yeah, and we'll see what the world looks like, the new normal, as we get on the other side of this. What if I could turn that off? Because now I don't need it. The zooming in and out. Or just wish there was a snap. But yeah, so my daughter's still home from school until maybe middle of May. I have no idea. But the school did do her a great favor and gave her a ton of homework. So the school season, or the school year, semester has started. And they're not doing, they may be trying to do something eventually, but for right now they're not doing any like video and nothing online, no online teaching or online courses from the school, but they gave the kids a ton of homework. So I don't know if parents were requesting that or what, but yeah, now my daughter basically has a full-time job just doing the homework that they gave her. But it's good because especially things like Japanese and math is there's such a progression to it that if you slow down or if some parts aren't taught as well, it's a little bit dangerous. So it's a good time to kind of make sure the kids are staying current on stuff, especially with this long a break, with months out of school. I mean, that used to be normal, but now months out of school is unheard of. And here they always have summer homework. So even if you have summer vacation, there's a project, you have a summer project you have to do. So not just like a reading list, or sometimes you'd have books or something to do. But this is a big project that you have to turn in when you come back from school. Oh yeah. Hey Sedona. Hey Snooker, you recognize me, huh? You were wondering what all this abuse was about. Yeah, I heard that too, Sedona, that they were doing free. I mean, this is the time to get your free Harvard education. That would be excellent. Yeah, and that would be. I've noticed that I've had zero discipline. That's been the worst part of this whole thing, is I've got all of this free time, like the amount of time that I've only dreamed about, not having to waste it doing anything else but being at home and working. And I just can't focus. I can't get disciplined enough to actually produce things. So I'm not doing any comics, additional comics. I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing the bare minimum. Yeah, and I think it's just because of the weird emotional state, the kind of, sleeping too much and not eating very well is just making it kind of miserable. But nice. Yeah, it's good to see people though. It's nice to have you guys around on the chat. It's going to be weird if I have to go back to a 0 viewer live stream where I'm literally just trying to talk to myself, stay caffeinated and talk to myself about nothing. That'll be funny. Alright, I'm going to keep drawing this. Yeah, I thought so both the comic book retail, local comic shops, and probably a lot of local independent retail, and then movie theater owners are really getting pissed off at how the industry is responding to things. So I wonder if that's going to cause damage, enough damage that there'll be disruptions after things get back to normal. Because both comic books and movies could go to an only digital, delivery. But it's been around forever, and people haven't done it yet. And I think there's still, and that's why I think like board games and things, became popular again, even though you can do everything online. It's because people like the human contact and face-to-face and drinking together and things. It's not fun drinking over a webcam together. But so I don't think businesses, because they're looking at just like the bottom line, I don't think they can take into account some of those X factors and things like, well, we could just do it digitally. We could just have everybody do this at home. It could just be delivered. And yeah, people don't realize the human element that we still require. We're not robots yet, and still require that kind of interaction. But yeah, so I would be very surprised if people were happy with, you know, everything being only digital. Oh, nice. Yeah, oh, a garden would be nice. Yeah, there's not yards so much in Japan, so people rent rent plots of land out in the countryside to garden. So you drive to your garden. But nice. Yeah, this has definitely been a chance to, because we set up, because of all the homework, we set up a little area, desk in a little area for my daughter to do her homework. And yeah, that's the first time we've moved some of that furniture, yeah, since we moved into the house. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to do a lot of that. So I'm sure most people are spring cleaning here, especially because you're inside all the time. It's like, yeah, that's funny. All right, so yeah, it is. It's nice, and the weather getting nicer. It's really a shame, because spring is the nicest time in Japan, and we're kind of missing it this year. You can't really, easily travel anywhere or do much of anything to enjoy the spring weather. And it seems like it's been a little bit colder, and I mean, I can't compare it directly, but it's been, more rain and cold than previous years. But yeah, I was really disappointed, because this is the time where you kind of get excited about, having to endure the horrible humid summer, but it's a little more rejuvenating, and everything kind of starts again in spring here, and it just does not exist this year. All right. Move these over, see if there's anything. Oh, I'm still drawing pretty small. See if there's anything we can do. Huh. I should change the shape of that a little bit. I've been watching that Amazon Tales from the Loop series. I played that RPG, or actually, I've read the RPG. I don't think we've actually played it, but we played that same type of system that's based on. And I've got the art books, the Swedish artist that did the work that inspired that setting. But the show's much more interesting than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more like Stranger Things, or just kind of kids' adventure, which I wasn't really looking forward to, because we already had Stranger Things and It and a lot of the that retro kind of stuff. But this is just, it's just odd. It's like a weird, it's supposed to be the 80s, so it's supposed to be the 80s that never were, is the kind of thinking or theme, but it takes place in North America, so it's happening in Ohio, and it looks like Sweden. Like, it's very odd. It looks like Sweden in the 50s. So the tone is hard to understand, and if they play around with time, it's a little confusing because everyone's dressed in this very stylized way. But it's a good Twilight Zone type show, so I would definitely recommend it if you like, because the gimmick is that there's a loop, like a scientific research center buried under the ground, and it's a loop, so it's like a particle collider. But here they have it has like a center, so they're kind of changing the idea a little bit. But I think the original idea is it's a particle collider, and they were always talking about, we don't know what's going to happen when certain things, when they're doing certain tests and certain things happen. We don't know if time can be destroyed, or all of existence by certain particles meeting each other at certain speeds, what the actual outcome will be. And so the artist kind of took that idea and ran, and so there's kind of time slips and things moving, just causing disruption. So there's kind of temporal disruption, and also just certain kind of physical things, gravity and things. And yeah, so the show is it's like science, or not real science, not hard science, but kind of fantasy science based Twilight Zone. So all the things that are happening to the town and the people are because of the technology that's either developed by the company that runs the loop, or effects of whatever they're doing down there. And so it's a little bit, on the mysterious side. So I think that's why they try to give it like a 50s, 60s kind of look, is that's when science was more sinister and mysterious, because, we had just split the atom and things like that. So it was, beginning of atomic age. So it had a more sinister feel, and I think that's what they're going after, although it does make it a little confusing about, especially the first episode. You're like, well, what is going on? What time are we in? Where are we? Because they're calling it the American Midwest, but it just doesn't have the feel, is completely wrong. But good writing, and surprisingly interesting characters, like characters in the show that you're just like, I don't even care about this, I don't want to see anything based on this person. By the time they get an episode, it's actually pretty satisfying, because they cast it well. So the actors are good, the writing is good, and yeah, so definitely worth watching if you like Twilight Zone type stuff. And it gives me a much better idea about what I would want the setting to feel like in that game. I think this is much more effective than some of the hints, because they were originally talking about it, being inspired by It or Goonies, or yeah, it's just some of the groups of kids, like a Spielberg E.T. or something, like a group of kids kind of thing. But this is nice, it's a little more developed. But yeah. Bananarama's Cruel Summer. Those older ladies will enjoy that. I can forget where I saw what Bananarama looks like now, but oof. Nice. Yeah. No, that's true. And I like the fact that, though, they didn't go full Stranger Things with the show and just go, look how 80s it is, and do you remember this, and do you remember that? Because it's such an odd setting that there's nothing, it's you feel it's dated and it's out of time. It's not contemporary, but you don't have the feeling that they're just trying to show off. Oh, look, there's a poster for Jaws, and whatever. That's the 70s, but there's not a that weird, remember this, remember that kind of thing going on, because it's all very odd. The tone of it and the look is very odd. So it had to be, I think, a difficult decision, and hard for the set designers and prop managers and stuff to deal with a lot of it, because it does just have a very odd look to it. So there's things that are kind of familiar, and maybe that's the The art is that way too, because it's Sweden. It's 80s Sweden, so it doesn't have things like, oh, do you remember those jackets, or do you remember that hat, or whatever. It doesn't have that in it because it's Sweden. And so I think that's what they went for, kind of being inspired by the art. But yeah, just the time stuff that they did. Once you kind of get what they're doing, it makes sense. But the early time stuff is very confusing because everything looks like the same time. You can't really distinctly feel when things are supposed to be taking place. All right. Well, we've got beverages. Yeah, but I'm happy to see they did a decent job with that show, because I was worried. I like that artist and I like the setting. I think it's very interesting, but I didn't know how they were going to do a continuing, like a drama, an episodic drama. And actually, it's odd because it's episodic and serial at the same time. So each episode is kind of focused on a different character and a different kind of thing that's happening, but the changes that happen during that episode stay. So if a person disappears, they're gone in the next episode. So you can watch it episodically, but any of the changes that happen, so it doesn't, episodes usually have to reset to 0, like everything has to be like it was at the beginning. Oh, glad that's over, at the end. And this doesn't. This keeps and there's some pretty messed up stuff that happens, but it keeps that. So when you see characters that you've already seen before come back, you know their history, and you know like something horrible that they've been through. So it makes it odd because you know a lot about somebody that now is just like a peripheral little side character. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got to watch. I never caught up on American Horror Story. I've heard people say good things about it, but and I like horror. I like American style horror. But yeah, I can imagine it's hard. I think it's hard to sustain, and especially the way that Americans make television, where it's just 20 episode seasons, and they just go on and on as long as possible, because that's with this money in that syndication being around forever, if that's still the case. But that's that's what people are aiming for, and it just makes it so it goes on much longer than it should. And then the opposite of that is the British style, where they only do like 12 episodes of a show ever, even if it's amazingly popular. It never gets enough time to go anywhere. Okay. Yeah, I guess I have to draw small to get that, to get a decent line. Yeah, I think on Japanese Netflix they have most of American Horror Story, so I should watch that. I also, there's so many things that I was trying to catch up on during this time of extra watching, but I have not. Yeah, the one frustrating thing that they do on all the streaming services in Japan is they default Japanese subtitle everything, and often, unless it's a movie, and sometimes even with movies, if there's multiple languages in the show, the subtitles will be the only translation. So if it's an English movie but they're also speaking Spanish, the Spanish will not be like Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad. When they're speaking Spanish, it's only subtitled in Japanese, so they don't have they don't have the English subtitles and then the Japanese of that. They just default to Japanese. So it's a little bit annoying. And also in like Star Wars or things where there's like pretend languages, where there's alien language, they will only translate that only give you Japanese subtitles in some cases, and that's a little bit annoying because unless you've seen the movie before or know it well, it takes away from those scenes. So that's a weird thing that they do here, because they're just assuming that most people are watching it. They need the Japanese only to watch, and I can't read Japanese fast enough for subtitles. It's brutal. It's very difficult. Yeah, I don't think either of this. Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Trying to connect. Yeah, and especially if stories have gotten out of control. And I think that, yeah, that's an American TV, because like Lost and things, like American TV shows that just kind of get out of control. But yeah, connecting, yeah, really big storylines or things that have been running for a while cannot be easy. Should be drawing something drink related, right? Yeah, that doesn't work either. Wow. That's true. Yeah, that's also a big reason why I haven't been watching many foreign films lately, because if it's not in English and it's not in Japanese, then I can't enjoy it very much, because you have to choose English or Japanese. So my wife can't follow only English subtitles. I mean, kind of, but if she has zero understanding of whatever the language of the movie or show is, then it's too difficult, and I can't do it with Japanese. So it's it becomes difficult to choose. So we can't watch things together. So that's odd. We watch them separately and then meet back later and discuss. But yeah, that's very annoying. I've seen there's somebody wrote, and I think it's just for the PC, but wrote some sort of Google extension or something where you can, and it's mostly for language learning, where you can have multiple subtitle tracks at the same time. So I should look into that, although I don't think it'll work. If I'm not, if I'm using my TV, I think it's got to be a desktop using Chrome. But that's a nice idea. Although, maybe it takes up a lot of screen space. Let's go in just a little bit here. Yeah, I remember all the bootleg Hong Kong and Korean movies I used to get in LA would have that. They always have that double layer of Chinese and English subtitles, and a lot of the like fan subtitled stuff does that too. All right. Oh. Maybe fix this a little bit. Yeah, it's nice. I especially like it at night because I can turn the volume down on things a little bit, and still catch everything that they're saying, because a lot of the mixes, especially for movies, if it was like a surround mix, sometimes the dialogue is so low, and then the explosions or any sound effects or anything are so loud, or music is so loud that it's sometimes really hard to hear dialogue in quiet scenes. They make it almost necessary to have subtitles so you don't miss important stuff. Ah, there you go. Oh, you got it. That's right. Yeah, like a tablet. Yeah, you could just sit. It's like, go ready, start, but watch it at the same time, only different devices. No, that's true. Yeah, that's crazy. I always forget about that. Like how much I almost never watch a movie or anything very serious on my phone, but you can. I always forget that Netflix and everything is on your phone, so you can always watch that. Because I guess I'm always on. If I'm on the train or anything, I'm always trying to read. I always feel guilty, and there's always a lot of stuff I need to read, like for the other podcast and stuff. I need to catch up on stuff, so I never think to do that. And they even let you download, like Netflix lets you download their original stuff to watch, even with no internet. So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but it's almost a moot point because my daughter monopolizes the TV most of the time. Yeah, she really likes like regular old Japanese free over-the-air television. So we watch a lot more than we used to when she was just small, because I would watch a lot of streaming stuff. So that's very funny. But she likes the comedy and a lot of travel shows. They do a ton of travel. It's always food and travel. Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't figured out why they do that, but in Japan, like the kind of prime time, like when you would be eating, the shows have a lot of food in them, but you're either eating or have just eaten, and I don't understand. Like, yeah, food television here is like it's a whole other aesthetic. They really enjoy food on TV, and they even do it when you've already eaten. Like, I understand, like the McDonald's advertising in the US, like 2 a.m. they'll start putting those Big Mac commercials on to get people to search out a 24-hour McDonald's. But yeah, in Japan it's funny. So they're not trying to sell food. They just like love food and love exotic food and foreign food. So that's very funny. Oh, this is going to be hard to... Maybe I'll just put the eyes higher. Whoa. That's not quite. Almost. Oh, yeah, but we need to go grocery shopping. I've been doing like a only weekly trip. It's been a little rough. And it's very odd because Japan is a very, more like Europe, the shop every day, like fresh food, so you shop every day. So we've been eating a lot more pre-made stuff than usual, just because nothing keeps a week. But it's a little bit frustrating. They have like really good fresh bread and stuff here, but it doesn't have all those preservatives in it. Like in the US, it molds very fast, especially in the humid weather. So it's very hard to keep shopping during these times. So that'll be nice. It'll be nice to come back to that more normal schedule. Okay, so I think we'll do this. Maybe move this stuff up so it's easier to work with. I'm forgetting all of the shortcuts. This little keyboard is not easy. There we go. Wow. Yeah, that's a thing now that is completely standard that I don't think TV was ready for, is the the two screens, like people always having an extra screen. They're always like on their phone or doing something. And originally I think they thought they were going to try to engage people like the actual TV show or whatever is actually going to try to get you to be on their website and watching a show at the same time, but I don't think they pulled that off because the other, like, social media just became too much more popular. That's where everyone is going to talk about something, is not on, you know, the NBC or the Warner Brothers platform, but just on social media. But I remember that. I remember all that second screen talk. And I think that's why they started doing those after show shows to try to, you know, read tweets and stuff that people had done if they live tweeted like during a show. So like Walking Dead was one of the first ones I remember doing that, where they just had like an after show talking about the show that you just, talking about the episode you just watched. Let's see. See how bad this looks flipped. Most of my stuff looks pretty terrible flipped. Yes. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh, maybe. I might have to just redraw that end. Yeah, that's probably the easiest thing to do. Let's see. I guess that's a little bit better. It's kind of losing something, but yeah, still. All right. We'll go with that. Yeah, that's a definitely, if I move everything here that I usually stream with and usually draw with, then I don't know if I'll ever move it back. So having that office space is going to be kind of pointless. Yeah, but if I give it up, it's going to be really hard. It's a really good location and a very sweet deal. So if I give that up, then I'm not going to be able to get something like that back again. So I guess I should maintain, just for the ability to kind of meet and record and stuff. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's another thing that may be good is, yeah, real estate. It might be a good time to make a move. That's cool. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen to... yeah, but if the economy in general kind of slides, I think everyone will be kind of stuck where they are. But that's cool. That's kind of a cracker. That's a little big, isn't it? Oh, actually, I shouldn't put all those dots on there because I have to put eyes on there. I'll do that with the coloring. That'll work better. Yeah. That would be very cool. Yeah, that would be such a fun, well, sinister lighting. Such a fun project to do, and even if you didn't end up living there, you know, upgraded a property that then has better sales price. That's really cool. Oh. Okay. So this still... yeah, that's a little better. Okay, so crackers. I don't even know if they come in packages that look like that anymore. Okay, yeah, we'll go with those little configurations. Oh, wow. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, everything seems to be going okay. I think I made the chat on the stream too small now. I don't know if it's readable. I have to go back and look at that after this is finished. All right, so let me flip over to the... I think it's still on here. Yeah. To the comments. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, actually, I don't even have to... I don't even have to do that, but anyhow, it's exciting. Look at that. Wow, I'm on the other side. But yeah, let's look at the comments for last time, which I think everything got online in time. There we go. Oh. Oh, that's very cool. Wow, if you could make, yeah. If you could get it back to that, yeah, that local value, whatever that's called, comp value, that would be excellent. Yeah, we lucked out in Los Angeles when we bought a house. Things were really low and then took off, and we couldn't, it only was 3 years. I think in the course of 3 years, we wouldn't have been able to afford our house that we had bought like 3 years previously. The house prices jumped so high, and it ended up being like a record producer, like somebody in the music industry that bought our house, and it was it's just like a ranch style, very standard house in the valley, in the U.S. So not, you know, very much a starter home, but it was somebody that had a bunch of money that ended up buying it. That was very surprising. All right, so last week, oh, this is not working, is it? We'll just try that. Okay, so lacking buttons did not make him a lesser form of entertainment. So was that April 16th? Wow, 2 comments, 18 likes. Yeah, a lot more. I think a lot more people are reading these cartoons during this downtime. Uh-oh. What did I do? What did I do? There we go. All right, it makes it makes an excellent form of quiet, thoughtful entertainment. I always found undoing buttons can be very entertaining. Undoing buttons. All right, and the one before that, 14th. Oh, that's right, the dessert. She told herself the rest of the desserts only envied her strawberry intensity. All right, saving the best for last. I'd eat her last. Yummy intensity. All right, and let's try a random. 2011. Oh, another cake. Oh, yeah, I think this has come up before. Cake was not happy about his non-birthday life options. Possibly a paperweight. Yes, trying to make it as a bookmark. Exactly. So he got it. Nice. And one more. So 2005. Yeah, look at that 2005 style. Whoa. The 100-watt bulb envied the flashlight's independence, while the flashlight was obsessed with bulb size. 2 likes and no comments. Yeah, 2002, that was pretty close to the beginning. Halloween, here we go. October 29th, 2019. He was confused by the idea of a non-decorative pumpkin. Alright. That's equally confusing. Is that... Oh, yeah, that's right. What's equally confusing is canned pumpkin is not pumpkin. It's made from squash. Yeah, that's funny. One more, hopefully not during this year. Yes, 2015. It was now clear that they weren't drinking grape juice. Oh, the blushing glass. And it was so good. All right. Well, things are at least getting red. Yeah, I think Thursday seems to be the bigger day. Anything that goes up on Thursday seems to get a lot more attention. Okay, well, let's switch back. There we go. That was another weird thing with that weird housing market in Los Angeles. Took my older daughter when she was very young to a birthday party of one of her classmates, and they were living in just kind of a housing development that was still being built kind of up the hill, and so you had a nicer view and the bigger houses. So the more expensive houses were saving to last or whatever. So there were phases. So it was like phase 1, phase 2, and they would just kind of in these concentric bands be moving up this hill. And the family who hosted the party were talking real estate and talking about this was the second house that they had bought in this. They bought in at phase 1, sold that house for a profit, and then were the house that we were in was phase 3, and they were waiting for like phase 4 or phase 5 to finally buy the next house. But it was only like a year apart because the construction of those houses doesn't take so long. And every time they bought and then sold the house again and just moved up the hill, they made money. It was just insane. I mean, I guess if you could handle that much upheaval in your life. But they made money on the house, and plus then they got into a bigger, nicer house with a little bit more of a view, a little bit more of everything. But that was amazing, the rate that was happening. It's definitely an unsustainable thing because you get an earthquake or something that scares a bunch of people away, and then the housing values drop in Los Angeles. But yeah, that was so bizarre. It was like, yeah, I guess if you can do that, then take advantage of such an odd situation. but it just seems odd. Alright. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, that would be an, oh, I wanted green. That would be a nice thing to have growing up. It would at least be, you know, aware of what actually goes into designing houses and things. That's the thing that I always was deficient on, like creatively, like thinking spatially and like planning out spaces that people of human size are going to inhabit and move around in. That's a really amazing ability, and it's something that I've never been able to be very good at. So we just did a little bit, I think in like the first year stuff, you had to try a little bit of everything at school, and I did a little industrial design, and just even like designing a chair that a human-sized person was going to sit in was, yeah, not something I was very good at. So having those ideas of scale and how you feel in comparison to a, you know, a certain shape or a certain space, I never quite did, which, there we go, did well. Yeah, so I admire architects and more industrial designers for understanding those real basic proportions and things. All right, there we go. Maybe put something in the cup. Something coffee colored. Whoa. Oh. All right, and then let's try something wine colored. Yeah, this might look really bizarre, but we'll try. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change the properties. There we go. Yeah, something like that. Or should it be darker? Yeah, that reads okay. And I guess I'll put water in the glass. All right. Wow. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, hospital design. Wow. That's got to have a lot of, you know, it needs to be practical, but also be a little bit reassuring. It's got to function well, but also people that are there. Because I remember, so I worked like as maintenance in a hospital, like right out of high school, and yeah, that was the thing. Older hospitals especially were just not nice places to have to wait around in. So it's definitely yeah, definitely something you have to understand is, like, yeah, there's people in that space and all waiting for good or bad news. And also being able to, like, keep some of the most horrible parts of hospitals away from anybody that's not, you know, working that's going to have to deal with it. All right, there we go. Fade this a little bit too. But yeah, those really depressing little waiting areas. So there'll just be long corridors and you know, all the patient rooms, and then those little, just an alcove where it's an old console television, like those big wooden ones on the floor, and some cruddy sofas, and that's back when you could smoke in hospitals. So smoking and oof, yeah, that was pretty rough. Oh, what am I doing with that? I'll just leave it. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I like that green. Whoa. Oh, we got this going on. The green, like a wine bottle glass. Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to get across some of those colors, but yeah, it's they feel, once you get the nice combination, they feel really familiar. All right, smooth some of this out, and then this. I hope the volume's okay. I've got the same kind of setup as last time, but I played with the gain a little bit on the microphone, so I could, hopefully it picks up better and not picks up too much of the room noise. All right. So put a little highlight on everything. Okay. Yeah, I can't tell. The week went quickly, but very strangely. I had no idea. Like, I was surprised. Oh, tomorrow's Tuesday. Because it's trash day here as well, so I was easily reminded, but it was weird. Yeah, I didn't feel like Sunday had quite finished yet, and it was already Tuesday. Yeah, because I don't have any big deadlines coming up, so I'm not paying attention to the time. And working from home is making that even easier to be lazy about. All right, more shape on this. Okay. Maybe that. Let's see. Let's do some white. Yeah, I like that. Right at the edge of the. Oh, actually, that doesn't need it. All right, but yeah, I don't think if I fade that, yeah, it's too bright. Even if I fade it, it's going to be too much. Wow. Boy, this must be the best day for snack sales. The April 20th holiday must be the most Doritos sold in the year. This is their Black Friday. And I wonder if they've actually figured that out, because I don't think any company, even though it's legal in so many states, I don't think any company would like openly advertise like a 420 special for all your junk food, but it's got to be funny. That had to be the best conversation with the accountant. We can't explain it, but for some reason our snack foods are insanely popular on this date. Alright. There we go. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess, yeah. There we go. Yeah, Jack in the Box is West Coast too, so that's right. Jack in the Box. Oh, here? Yeah, there. Yeah, this keyboard is very different. It's hard to follow. That's okay. Yeah, drive-through. I wonder how busy drive-throughs have been. Maybe people are seeing that as the safest way to, or maybe that's the only way. Because I heard that, yeah, in Japan they've limited the certain restaurants can only be open until like 8 o'clock, and then after that it can only be drive-through. It looks like a mouth, but that works. That works. All right. Yeah, that would make sense. I think Jack in the Box could get away with going a little more gonzo on their advertising to get noticed, you know, around the big guys. Yeah, that's really amazing how much money McDonald's spends on advertising. It's like, it's McDonald's, everybody knows it, and you usually just go there because it's the thing that's closest, or you know, it's mostly just convenience. So it's very funny that I'm doing a weird racial thing again. It's very weird if that they spend so much money, but I guess that's why they may get some other favorable treatment for having such huge advertising budgets. All right. Yeah, let's do. Oh, wow. Yeah, I imagine. Oops, it's gotta be crazy. Yeah, I wonder if that's good or if they've lost a lot of their normal business. So the drive-through just kind of making the loss, you know, less painful. Yeah, it's still, I can't even imagine being in a situation where you're completely worried about the survival of your business right now and relying on, you know, government bailout and things to help make it through it, help you make it through this. That has to be really, really miserable and really nerve-wracking, because you know, even if they have good programs, bureaucracy moves so slow. Is it going to actually be in time before you know, all your bills are due and you start to get start to get in trouble? That's true. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Wow. A tsunami warning for McDonald's sounds brutal. Yeah, I guess. And I think it feels kind of normal, so maybe that's a good comforting thing too. These people right now just do something easy and familiar, and that makes this times feel a little less insane. All right. All right. Yeah, this angle is... I guess that'll work. Yeah, I've been trying to avoid drinking as much as it would be easy to do. I'm just worried about getting too depressed during this kind of weird time. For some reason I get I get really dark with consecutive nights of alcohol, so I've been trying to be more reasonable, because it would be a nice thing to do. I don't have anywhere to go, I don't have to drive or do anything, so it's perfect timing. But again, like everything else, it's just like not gonna... What's going on? Yeah, not gonna make things any easier. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's just my weird brain chemistry or whatever. But yeah, and also, you know, alcohol's a depressant, but I can get really buried in negativity if I am too relentless with, like, you know, consecutive nights of drinking. There we go. That's crazy. Oh yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, like natural disaster stuff in fast food don't work well because they're only thinking about the rules and what the corporate corporate headquarters says to do. Yeah. I think so. I think this extended homestay is not doing anyone any good. Yeah, I just wish I could have been more productive. That's really disappointing. I should be live streaming more. I should be doing a lot of stuff, and just can't. I can't do much at all. Yeah. Oh, here's something I found when we were reorganizing the house and making my. Well, since 2006, getting my daughter's little study space going. So I was telling you about the little books that I used to make, and so I found an example of one. So these are the books that I used to bring to San Diego Comic-Con and the Alternative Press Show in San Francisco and stuff. So when I would first sell these comics, so the cartoons that I'm doing now, the first way that I sold them was just in this little book. And so this book is made from just a single sheet of paper, printed double-sided, and then just cut into strips. So it's just the image on one side and the joke on the other. So yeah, this is the first way that I ever published or self-published or printed these books. And I did a more postcard size version of this too for like collections, like I did like a Christmas collection and stuff. But this was the most common way, and I sold these. I think they were just $1. Which wasn't too bad, but yeah, sorry, maybe that's a little bit better. But yeah, these little tiny books were the first way that I ever printed the comic. Otherwise, it was just digital. But yeah, I miss these too because I had so many of them, and they're color laser, so they stayed pretty decent, like the inkjet, especially because the paper sometimes is the prepared surface. To have the nicest inkjet, the paper has a coated surface, and that coating discolors very easily from humidity or just time. But yeah, this stays nice and white and nice and crisp because this is like 14 years old, this little thing, and it's in good shape, and the colors are still nice and bright. But yeah, so this is of course also the American letter size paper. So if I did one in Japan, I think it's going to be a little more square, a little less this little size. The proportions are going to be a little different because an A4 sheet of paper compared to letter size is a little longer, so it's going to kind of change the dimensions of the book. But I should go back to printing these, and then I can easily print any language version on the other side. So that would make it very easy to do multiple language translations. And I think in Japan this size would have done really well. I just never got back to doing it because I started doing the actual print-on-demand books and things. All right. Ah, nice. Thanks, K5. Yeah, I should do another run of this, especially with the newer cartoons, because I think the drawing style's gotten more colorful and a little more interesting. So those little tiny versions might be fun because it's art and then the joke's separated, so you can just appreciate the drawing more specifically. But yeah, I remembered. So that's something to look at. I remembered I brought that for because I uncovered that, and I'll see if I have. And the other thing I did with the larger ones is a animation studio next to our office space in Los Angeles. An animation studio went out of business, and they left a bunch of acetate cells just there because I think they're probably moving to digital anyhow. So it was just stuff they were never going to use. So I got a bunch of packs of animation acetate, and I made that a plastic cover for the larger books. So there's an acetate sheet, and then the color picture underneath, and then the cartoons themselves. So that made it look a little higher quality, and you could just trim it and everything exactly like the cardstock and the paper. So it looked good. But those are floating around somewhere. Some people probably in the Southern California area have those somewhere. All right, so let's see. So we've got crackers and drinks. Nice. Yeah, and these were easy to do too because the binding was just a single Yeah, I don't know why I mean the webcam is so small. If it was full screen, but the binding is just a single staple, so it's very easy and very secure too. It like lasted. The only thing you have to do though is then trim them, because you get the pages on the inside are sticking out further, so you have that you just have to trim the edge, and so it's real easy to produce a lot of them. So that would be something too. I would just bring the pages, and then depending on what I sold that day at the show, then I would just cut that many more at the hotel room at night or whatever before the next day of the show. So that was real easy. Production wise, I didn't end up with a bunch of stuff. It was just much easier to keep the pages uncut until they needed more. All right. Cool. Now I just need to write these. Let's see. I guess I don't need to zoom in. Oh. Wow. So, what am I doing here? Yeah. And sorry, because I haven't been to the shops or anything, I have nothing fun. No fun Japanese stuff to show off. So, I'll have to wait. I'll try to get something for next week, tonight when we go to the grocery shopping. Yeah, so we'll have to see. I'm curious how busy that's going to be. What's going on here? I think I just got that memory lag. It's not letting me... Oh, it's selecting all, but it's not showing. Okay, choice of beverage was the joke I was... Yeah, still the space bar. Yeah, what's going on? I think I've got a memory problem, yeah, because it's not it's not giving me a cursor. Oh, that's right. It was doing that before too, where it changed the type of cursor because of some weird memory snag. And your choice of beverage was the joke. So they eagerly... Oof. Anticipated. His choice of beverage. Okay. That's really annoying. Anticipated. Anxiously, maybe, is better. God. Okay, I'm assuming I'm selecting that. Yeah, weird. They anxiously anticipated his jeez, choice. There we go. Okay, his choice of beverage. But that doesn't get the idea. Is something something and your choice of beverage. Yeah, let's keep thinking about that. I want to talk about the other thing plus. Yeah, so we can kind of, yeah, the last thing thought about or something, yeah, temporary or put to the, oh boy, and crackers. There we go. I don't know why that other image wasn't doing that. Okay. Yeah, and this is something that is going to make it very North American, calling it a cracker instead of a biscuit. Something about not getting back in the package or getting back in the... Oh, this actually might be better if I... Whoa. Oh, okay. If I move the eyes a little bit. Where are the eyes on this layer? Looking at the camera almost might be a funnier. Yeah, let's see how that looks. A little odd. It kind of messes up the... Maybe just in the corner is better. Yeah. Okay. So, great. Is that the same size? 24. I hope so. Okay, cool. Let's double check. 24. Yeah. Okay. So two. Oh. Sorry. Oh. Two types of packages. Leftover crackers had no good options. And another spacebar failure. All right. Whoa. Leftover crackers had no good options. Yeah, what else? What else could I be doing with this? Or unsalted was another. Was another idea. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, stale. Oh, I like. Yeah, stale is good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because that totally separates him from everything then. All right. Yeah, so stale crackers, never having, yeah, make it back into the pack. Or they could just tell, yeah. Yeah. Just by something, just by his personality. Whoa. I could tell he was stale. Something, just by his something. Oh yeah, just some by his over anxious, over enthusiastic. I don't know, something that contrasts the idea of stale would be funny. Or salty personality, yeah. Or he tried he tried to be salty, but was just proved to be stale. Ooh. Yeah. See, just by his personality, so salty something. Yeah, I like salty. Yeah, salty personality is good. Yeah, salty personality is a great mix. Just by his salty personality, they could tell he was stale. All right, let's see if I can get back to the beverages. Actually anticipated his choice of beverage. Yeah, his is a little confusing because it's a customer or something. What's going on that this doesn't register? That's so bizarre. The thing considered least less anxiously anticipated his choice of beverage. So yeah, the his is a little bit confusing. Maybe everything. With a... Seems that everything came with a choice of beverage. That everything... Oof. It seems that everything came with a choice of beverage. Ugh. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, I've been not sleeping consistently. Yeah, just like waking up, sleep a couple of hours, and then, yeah, just on and off being sleepless. But yeah, uninterrupted sleep, I think, is the problem. It's very bizarre. And so trying to do that, longer doesn't help at all. It's all that good uninterrupted sleep I'm missing. Let's see. Yeah, I think that works because it's a very beverage based image. So it seemed that everything came with a choice of beverage. Yeah. Hey Ryan, how's it going? Japan is weird. It's it's kind of shut down, kind of not, and there's no protesting, and but there's also no enforcement of a shutdown. So that's why there's no protesting, because the government can't tell you what to do with Japan's awesome new post-war constitution. Because before that, they could haul you out in the street and shoot you in the head, but they don't do that anymore. It's off the it's off the table. But things are weird though, because it's just a recommendation. Businesses are still, our offices are still pretty full. Just restaurants, bars, and a lot of nightlife is being curtailed. But yeah, so that's makes everything just a recommendation. Like they recommend the school should close, and then the parents. That's a weird thing in Japan, is how powerful kind of the PTA and the parents' influence on the schools is. I don't know particularly why, because it doesn't matter public or private or whatever. But as soon as it's recommended schools are closed, then instantly schools close because they don't want complaints or angry parents. So yeah, that was odd. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's really, yeah, really something. Yeah, exactly. Not getting that REM sleep is all important. Nice. Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, and I think that shows, like, anybody that, and I don't want to go too political or offend anybody's uh, sensibilities, but I think that definitely shows people protesting quarantine shows that America will never handle well a strong central government, and there will always be a lot of reaction and protesting. So things like America going very socialist, I mean, it's just not possible, and especially because each state has its own idea about how it wants to do things, and people have very strong opinions. So it's not like Europe or any other part of the world where people conform. I mean, there's such a huge the rugged individualist and all of those ideas that came from American culture. I think yeah. So I think that's a really good example of why this democratic socialist stuff is not very realistic in the U.S., because it's just not compatible with how a lot of people want to live their lives. Because if you can't even tell people to stay inside because you're going to make other people sick, they think it's infringing on your rights, then you're not going to be able to tell them to pay 50% tax, 50% tax rate, or anything to make social programs work. It's crazy. Yeah. But oh, just a second here. Okay. All right. So looks like we're pretty close here. But yeah, so and it's weird to see everything from a distance, and it doesn't sound like any of my friends or family are feeling very comfortable and reassured right now. Yeah, and I've got some friends too. One of my friends is married to a doctor who's like the head of kind of managing the response to bad weather in her area. She works at probably the bigger hospital in the area, so that really sucks. That they've got 2 young kids, so she is right on the front lines of dealing with this. And it really sucks. But okay, well, I think we're pretty good. So, but just a salty personality, they could tell he was stale. Perfect. And it seemed that everything came with a choice of beverage. Yeah, I think that works. Oh, well, this is going to be another little shorter one. I think there's too much going on at the house right now, so I better get back to it. But yeah, so I will I'll post this, and I will get back to you next week. I will try. There's got to be something. Yeah, there's stuff I need to be working on, or I'd like to be working on for a personal project. So I hope to try to find some more time to do some live streaming and just some drawing and kind of brainstorming would be nice. Because I've been thinking about, I just noticed that how well, and a lot of Japanese cartoonists are doing this, so that's why it kind of came up, how well Instagram works for reading sequential art, because you can put, I don't know what the limit is, but you can put like 10 pictures in one post on Instagram, and then you can just flip through them, so you can reveal panels and have good storytelling that way. So I was thinking about converting one of the comic books that I had done to an Instagram friendly kind of panel by panel, and to see how that worked. Because that might be, I mean, it wouldn't be selling anything, but it would get the story out a lot more easily, and I could experiment a lot more with different kinds of stories. So I want to play around with that definitely, because Instagram comics really seem like an interesting way to go. It'd have to be a pretty minimal style, because you'd want to produce as many things as possible, and everything will be in a square. But yeah, so if I get a chance to play around with that idea, I might do that. But yeah, so I think that'll be good. But it was really good to oh yeah, time for Minecraft. All right, everybody's on the Hyphonics Minecraft server now. Nice. But I will I'll be back next week. And yeah, it was good talking with everybody, and great to catch up. And I'm glad everyone is safe and hanging in there. It's not an easy time to do anything. All right, so yeah, have a good rest of your evening or day wherever you are, and stay safe, and take care of yourself. And I will be back next week to draw some more of these cartoons, and think about some other ways of presenting stuff. Yeah, Instagram, I don't know, but Instagram is Facebook, so that's another thing you gotta think about, because I think they still have those terms that anything you post on there, they basically own or have access to forever. But abusecartoons.com is the website, and all the information is in the description for the live stream. Follow the cartoon on Twitter at abusecartoons, and then if you'd like to support the cartoon and get access to sign a book or do original art, or sell original art, there is Patreon, patreon.com/abusecartoons. So take care. Hey, Last Shreddy, take care, and hit that like button. Thank you very much. Yes, give us a like on this stream, and we'll keep it up. So yeah, take care, everyone, and I will be back next week. So until then, goodbye.